Welcome back. Time to return to the stage here inside the Hull Ice Arena for the second semi-final in the BDO Masters. So you could say this is darting on ice.
Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, let's play darts. He's over the top. He's Dean Winstanley. The pride of Scotland, the boss, Ross Montgomery.
Morning, morning. It's the boss. It's the boss.
A lot of love and affection being shown during the walk-ons here at the Hull Arena. Over to the commentary box with Tony O'Shea and David Croft awaiting.
Where we're cuddling up close for what could be another classic semi-final here as well. Ross Montgomery against Dean Winstanley. The defending champion is out, and a new name will be going on this famous trophy. Will it be the number 2 seed who was rather lukewarm against Rick Hofstra and was a touch hotter against Tony West, that is for sure.
It doesn't really matter how these guys play. It's going to take some following that previous game, mate. I'd love to have a go, but in a way, I'm glad I'm not.
Vic Sexton there, the BDO official, and now director of the British Darts Organisation, the man to adjudicate whether it's straight enough for the darts to receive that Winmau board. Ross Montgomery, meanwhile, never been in a Masters final, but he is a Zuiderdown Masters champion. Not quite the same thing, but there's a bit of pedigree there, Tony.
Still one of our majors, mate. Still one of our majors. Obviously, the experience he'll have gained from that, he'll need it today, I think. Dean hasn't actually won a major yet, but I'm sure it's not going to take too long. Form he showed the last couple of years far outweighed what he did yesterday. Maybe that's what woke him up that game yesterday.
It was a good learning experience for him. That is very, very true.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First set, first leg. Ross to throw first. Game on.
So Scotland's Ross Montgomery gets us underway in this best of 9 set semi-final. The defending champion Martin
60.
Adams is out. The last time he got beat at the Masters was Robert Thornton in 2007. Thornton went on to win. Is that an omen? Is it the year of the Scot? Or
100.
will the White Rose County of Yorkshire triumph through Dean Winstanley or Scotty waits? Fair to say,
100.
the odds stacked in favour of the homeboys at the moment, Tonio.
Certainly looking at the crowd, for once we can out-sing the Scots tonight. It's already a noticeably slower pace.
That's two boys just playing their own game. They're not really thinking about the other, although Ross,
100.
all these steady players who just occasionally gets a bit more bounce into his step and speeds things along a bit.
Does show aggression, usually when he's playing well.
100.
Well, it's easy there.
That's when you get a bit of a flow, even at his slow pace. Yeah.
Two Scotsmen have lifted the Masters trophy before. Robert Thornton, I mentioned. Les Wallace in 98 as well. As Montgomery hits the first 180 of the match. Two Yorkshiremen, of course, have also lifted this famous trophy. John Boy Walton in 2000 and Dennis the Menace Priestley in 1992.
60. Rossi requires 61.
So for the first leg, two darts at double 18 for Montgomery.
Game
Only
shot
needed
the first
one,
leg.
and there you go.
Ross Montgomery. Second leg, Dean to throw first. Game on.
Always good to get the first leg out of the way.
Especially at this stage of the tournament, it's first to 5 sets tonight.
123.
First few legs not as important as earlier on in the day or earlier in the tournament, but quite a nice opening leg there from the boss.
60. $140.
Dino's brother in the crowd as ever.
$60.
Ross Montgomery will have his family close to his heart as ever. He always has his photos of his kids tucked into his top pocket.
85. $41. Dean, you require 153.
Nothing coming back at Winstanley really in this second leg.
81.
Rather than settling into the match, Montgomery's looking like he's settling into his cosy chair
96.
on a Sunday evening.
Dean, you require 72.
Dean has his own ways, single 20 there.
That wouldn't have been his own way though, would it?
And he'll check that. I think he wants 28 now. Double 14, left hand side of the board. A good one for Dean.
44.
Not this time though.
Would have much preferred the 12 for tops.
He does have his own way though, Dean, I must be honest.
36. Dean, you require 28.
Double 14 still then. Nervous glance to the scoreboard to see where Montgomery
Game
was,
shot
but
the
it matters
second leg.
not.
Dean Winstanley. Third leg, Ross to throw first. Game on.
You're on telly. That's in high.
$55.
And going back to Dean again there, he does have some strange ways of finish. He may end up being the Masters champion this weekend. I don't think he'll ever win Countdown though, mate.
97.
Is he take a while to work things out? Is that what you're suggesting?
He plays percentages, let's just put it that way. But with his heavy scoring, he's usually got a few in hand.
45.
His double top is the one that he favours. Part of the reason they call him over the top. The main reason, I think, it's his favourite film, isn't it?
180.
Nothing over the top about that maximum.
They're all side by side. For those of you who are not familiar with the works of
28.
Sylvester Stallone, Over the Top, a film about arm wrestling. You seen it, Tony?
Probably a long time ago, to be honest. Talking about arm wrestling, Robert Wagner's here this week. He's actually still in the building somewhere. He was a former Mr. Norway and a wrestling champion, an arm wrestling champion.
Of Norway?
Of Europe, I think.
Really?
83. Dean, you require
Dance
124.
and arm wrestles and does magic tricks, but couldn't win his match against Ewan Hislop in the last 24.
56. 140.
No, that's a
Dean,
bit
you
better for
68.
Montgomery. He's just gone to sleep a little bit since he won the first leg. Winstanley want 8 for double top here.
48.
Under the
Ross, you
top for a
require
change.
150.
It's the double that kept letting him down, actually, in the quarter-final. Can Montgomery follow this? He can. Double 15. Didn't look like winning this leg. Oh, did there, though, didn't he?
Dean, you require 20.
That would have came from nowhere, but Dean wants double 10. Just inside the wire. Great
Game
second
shot
out,
the
though, to give him this
set.
first set.
Dean Winstanley.
He'll be tough with that. Boss almost came from nowhere there to steal
Second
that set.
set, first leg, Dean to throw first. Game on.
The whiskers width away for Montgomery. But all he ends up with is a 0 in that set score.
93.
Close but no banana, as they might say.
Nice cover shot from Dean there, last triple 18. Saved the score.
100.
Welsh referee Hugh Ware, deliberate with his pronunciations. And the man from Glamorgan
85.
done a cracking job in his first televised darts tournament.
$140.
Warming to the task well, Dean, now.
He had no idea why he just couldn't
100.
produce any decent form yesterday at all, Dean Winstanley. And I like the way he has just completely forgotten about it. Treated today as he should do. Just another normal, different day at the office.
128.
Super darts, left his favourite again.
Well, tea might be on, but you won't be home for it, sir. We've got a lot more action to come in Hull tonight.
100.
Bit of late
Dean,
night
you
supper,
require
I think,
40.
on the cards. Double top for Winstanley.
Game shot the first leg. Dean Winstanley.
He's persistent with that
Second
double
leg,
top.
Ross throwing first.
Actually covered that with his first 2 darts. Still managed to get it underneath. That was quality darts.
100.
You can hear the chants of Dino ringing around the arena. Just reminds me a bit with all these
30.
double tops of another famous Scottish darts player, Big John Henderson, who knows no other way of going out on the board. And even if he's missing it by a country mile, he will still
85.
return to the one double he knows at the end of every leg. You cannot fail but to love John Henderson, the only man who throws his
59.
darts as if he stood on the Hull ferry, rocking back and forth.
Rocking all over the hockey.
43.
Yeah, you see, forget Sunday night at the pictures, it's a loving at the darts.
$100. $100.
Looking a bit disgruntled, do you think, there, Ross Montgomery, with the way his form is dipping, the way Winstanley's picking out the big ones?
13 will leave him a nice shot at the top.
133. Dean, you acquire
This will be a test for Dean.
132.
132. Take your pick. 25, treble 19. I can't go through now. 88, 20s probably.
64. Ross, you acquire 40.
It's a great marker from the boss.
Games on the second leg. Ross Montgomery.
Well, he had to turn the double 10, but he got there.
Go first. Game on.
Doesn't actually look confident of it in anything at the moment, boss.
I use the word disgruntled. Just maybe trying to gear himself up a little bit, but he's got that mean expression on his face, like he means business.
83.
I'm sure that double 10 will have been cheered on loudly in East Kilbride this evening at the Calderwood Inn. And they're all watching on ESPN, cheering Ross Montgomery on.
140.
So he's going to have a word with the landlord and demand a percentage of the takings this weekend, because they've all been cheering him on from dusk till dawn following the coverage.
60. $70.
It's more of that.
140.
Obviously Dean on a bogey, but he's going to look at leaving a nice 1 or 2 dart finish after this shot. Triple 18 will leave him a nice 32. That's where he's looking.
98.
And the youth still in, watching the old boys up on the hockey.
44.
I say old boys, Winstanley is a 30-year-old. It's double 4, no double top from this time.
64.
And the second set still awaits. Montgomery, bar the 140s, has thrown some miserly scores.
60. Dean, you acquire 4.
I should prefer double 1, really.
No score.
Oh dear.
Ross, you
But
acquire
that last dart proved he
114.
didn't. 114 for the boss, though. Sticking with 20s for now. Treble 18 will leave him tops. Tops it is. For the set.
Games
And
on
that's
the
a lovely
second
finish,
set.
that.
Ross
One set
Montgomery.
apiece. Again, he came from nowhere in that leg.
Third set, first leg, Ross to throw first. Game on.
It's like his very own UFO, an unidentified finishing object coming through there from Ross Montgomery. Completely out of the blue, if we're going to carry on the film
60.
theme here as well.
Well, you've named about 11 tonight already.
Ocean's 11.
60.
But it's one of the beautiful things about this sport, Tony. You can be absolutely out on your feet, throwing a bag of nails, and then suddenly in comes the blistering top corner back of the net 114 finish, just to wake your opponent up. And after being completely out of it, I'd suggest in more legs than not here, Ross Montgomery's 1 set apiece.
$134. $60.
I think they both settle for a 2-2 at the break, just to get themselves together and sort themselves out here.
58.
There's some anxious faces all around.
Not just on the stage, mate.
$60.
Situation that were Ted Hankey up on the stage. His mum would be wading in to have a word at the moment. A little motivational coach that she is.
So I've had a look around, and there's enough security to handle her anyway, there's not a problem. I think we were spoiled with the last game. It was such a tempo, the quality was there. It just needs a spark from one of these two just to get them both going.
41.
How much notice would these two have taken, though, I wonder, of that previous match?
As I said at the start of the game, I mean, I was joking, but it must affect you. I mean, a game like that, and to go up there 10 minutes later and try and follow that, as we say, of course it's going to be difficult. Not for the first time. Ross is a bit behind when Dean's left us finish.
45.
And he hasn't really troubled it. 64. No pressure on this 64 for Dean.
He's eased that pressure with the treble with the first start. Just checking with the referee what he needs. Double 8.
56.
Do you think he's going for treble 8 there to leave tops?
I think he'd prefer it. Should be outer or inner bull, but instead he hits the 1. Shakes his head and now starts smiling as if he feels nothing is going his way.
81. Dean, you acquire 8.
Double 2 again.
4 score.
Missed it again.
Ross, you acquire 54.
So, for another bag of swag and a stolen leg, here comes Montgomery for double top.
14 scored.
Didn't want it.
Dean, you acquire 4.
Double 2, not double 4, as the referee called.
Game shot the
Good
first
job,
leg.
Winstanley wasn't
Dean
listening.
Winstanley. Second leg, Ross to throw first.
Well, brother's doing his
Game
bit, Tony. Do you hear those cheers? Do you hear the shouts of encouragement when you're in your little bubble up on the stage?
45.
No, I've had brothers and family there. I've never really picked out one voice. It's just a general hum from the crowd. You only notice the ones that are trying to put you off, or they may not be trying, but
100.
they do. I think Ross suffered from that in his previous game. Somebody shouted out, and he was pretty narked during the games. He had a little break in the players' practice room. He was still seething, to be honest.
Was he?
Well, like I said, a lot of noise from the crowd's not a problem. It's just one voice.
It's normally all misses when you're playing.
100.
That isn't one voice, mate.
Like a choir of Stockport angels. But she is your chief cheerleader.
140.
She's my only cheerleader, mate.
$100. $100.
This has not been a bad leg from Montgomery so far. 3 tons on the trot.
Nice treble 19, leaving double 12. That's still one.
177.
We've seen that a lot this weekend.
Really good thinking.
Treble 19 would leave him double 8.
He could go treble 11 for double top, though. And that's exactly the way he's going. Work that out well.
Yeah,
lovely.
set.
Takes the set with 1-3-3. Oh dear. And that is over the top. It's only the 3rd set, but just think he wanted that.
That could be the spark we were talking about. And that's 2 of us that ain't going to win countdown. Of course, my favourite's 32, so that's the one I always look to finish on.
100.
It's almost as if with Dean Winstanley, he is looking for something to spark him into life, be it his opponents
70.
to up the pace or up the scoring, be it the crowd to get him going. And that, I suppose, just comes down to a lack of experience in what is only his third year, or fourth year, I should say, playing ranking events.
60.
I mean, obviously, it's probably not 4 years. I mean, he's come such a long way in such a short time.
It was 2008 he played in, I think, his first ranking tournament. It was 2010 the German Open was the first one he won. Before that, he hadn't really thought about darts as a serious option.
Technically, still an apprentice then.
100.
Quite. As the World Masters last year, he made his TV debut. Lost in the quarterfinals to Martin McCloskey.
And before you say it, that's the guy who took me out last year.
26.
Sorry, Tony.
It's just a long line of people who've beat me today. Isn't it? Thanks, mate.
Honestly, I'm not trying to find matches you've lost.
You've done your own work, mate.
140.
Yeah, he's got a big future, Dean.
$105. Dean, you acquire 101.
So 101 to make that future a little brighter. Tops on.
81.
Just snatched a bit,
Ross,
didn't
you
he?
acquire 160.
It was a
100.
great last dart.
Dean, you acquire
Gives him a
20.
chance if Dean can't finish off this double 10. Just inside, double 5. Nobody likes this one. As proof of the pudding, will he bust it?
No score.
Sensible dart, to be honest.
Ross, you acquire 60.
So that ton's left Ross Montgomery with 60, 20 for tops again.
Game shot
Great
the
last
first
dart.
leg. Ross
Again, he
Montgomery.
came from nowhere in that leg. The leg was over.
Second leg, Ross to
Unbelievable.
go first. Game on.
And once again, snatching at double top, which is becoming a feature, I think, from both of these players, which suggests to me a
100.
lack of relaxation in the throwing arm, a tension that they could do with being massaged out maybe in the break at the end of this set.
Well, obviously, there's a major final spot for grabs. I mean, there's going to be tension, but
95.
maybe sometimes in a faster game, that's where the tension goes quicker, as we saw with Martin and Waitsy there. Didn't seem any tension at all. They actually looked like they were enjoying it.
100.
Well, they just thrived on everything, the pace, the scoring, the atmosphere, and you know, when you're a bit more deliberate, it's a bit like trying to throw your darts in a library with everyone staring at you.
180. 100.
What Winstanley needs to say to himself, though, 2 sets to 1 up. He's outscoring Ross Montgomery here. The legs that he's losing are the ones that he's kind of throwing away himself. It's not
42.
Ross winning it all on merit. But Winstanley's double percentage, only 21 at the moment, which is a little on the low side.
140.
See, this, though, could be a leg that Montgomery wins on merit. 4 tons, ton 40, takes it out, Tony. Don't argue with that.
As I said, then it's the break. They can go and
85.
sort themselves out during the short interlude. But he's got 61 now. Probably 25 for double 18. He's got the first part of the equation. Not too sure it's in there, to be honest, but it is. It's double 18. Just inside double 9.
Game
There
shot
she
in the
goes.
fourth set.
And there it is,
Ross
2
Montgomery.
sets apiece. It's Nippons up this one. Who wants a place in the Masters final with Scott Waits? We'll find out when we resume. 2 apiece, though, in the second semi-final.
First player to 5 plays Scott Waite in the final of this year's Masters, and as things stand, it could go either way. The players will be back on stage in a few minutes' time. Masters Darts live on ESPN. Session. Both players didn't really take off, so it's a fresh start now. Let's see if someone can really accelerate away, and this game will well, to try and follow on from the one before is going to be tough. But over to David Croft and Tony O'Shea.
It's exactly where we were, Ray, wasn't it, after the break in the first semi-final? That then completely exploded into life. And just a few murmurs in the crowd before we can get this match into life. We'd quite like some fireworks to rival November the 5th or July the 4th. But I'd take a couple of Catherine Wills and a sparkler, quite frankly, Tony O'Shea.
83.
I think they'll have give each other a team talk there and sort it out. Come on, let's play darts. Let's put on a show.
40.
At the moment, it's just a touch too tense out there. Thing is for Ross, though, we were just mentioning before the break, he's a man who isn't winning many legs on merit, on his own form. He's relying on the poor form of Dean to get him through.
41.
And Winstanley should have made a mental note of that. And thought to himself, well, all I have to do is start hitting a few more doubles, and he's out of this game unless he improves.
43.
Yeah, I would imagine at the moment Mr. Waite should be watching this in the practice room and not too worried, to be honest.
I don't think he'd be watching it at all. He said he was going to go and sit down quietly for half an hour, not even pick up a set of darts.
140.
Could he be under that mask, I wonder?
Has that guy won the lottery? He's been smiling all weekend.
He's got jaw ache.
Ross, you require 140.
Well, 2 140s though in this leg for Ross Montgomery. It's not to emulate either of those two. Oh, that's cruel. Hit one, bounce out to the
58.
Good recovery.
I've always wanted to say this. He bent the wire. There's actually a little mark on the top wire there where his dad actually came back.
Yeah, there is.
100. Ross, you require 82.
He's not going to touch that treble 20 wire. Single 20's okay though.
I would imagine 12 for the bull. Makes sense.
37.
Had to do it. 108 left for Dean. He had to go for the bull route.
He was a fair way away on both occasions. Stanley, so after scoring 36 and 72 left.
90. Rossi required 45.
I'm not quite sure why he was trying for treble 18, but we did hint that he wasn't too hot in his maths.
$29.
So, double
Dean
9 then.
18.
Yeah, he got away with it. He's left himself double 9. Slightly covering the double from where he is. And that caused the slide into the single.
11 scored.
So another chance for
Rossi
Montgomery.
requires 16.
He wants double 8. 3 in his hand. Another free leg there, to be honest.
Ross Montgomery. Second leg, Dean to throw first. Game on.
Oh, completely. And all due to Dean Winstanley's inability to work out that from 108,
70.
2 18s, a 36, leaves you 72.
That's correct.
So why then leave yourself double 9? It's an elementary mistake, isn't it?
The obvious dart was 16, obviously. Left him 56 if he had single,
41.
and he loves 16 tops. Well, I say the year he's had, it's so out of character, all these missed doubles. He's been lethal.
There's been nothing lethal about his finishing whatsoever. 19% success rate. I suppose the crumb of comfort is that he's given himself 26 opportunities
85.
to hit that double because his scoring's been so good. But still, 19 plays 38%, scores for show, doubles for the dough.
Virtually every missed double has actually cost him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can miss doubles and get away with it.
45.
He's not playing anywhere near his full potential, Dean, at the moment.
83.
Then again, though, Tony, it's one thing to have a stellar year where you come from nowhere to be number 2 seed or number 1 seed. It's another to keep up that level of performance.
85.
Myself, I did something similar in 2010. I think I was number 1 seed for all our big events, and I think I lost first round in every single one of them. So you can have a great
82.
year on the floor and on the tour, but this is where it really counts.
You come as the man that everyone's aiming to knock out, don't you?
We've spoke before, and I've said it. I'd prefer to be the underdog and be number 1 seed for everything.
95. Dean, you require 98.
Treble 20 for double 19. So single 15 forces him to adjust. It's 3,
38.
quite what he wanted. The year you got to the Masters final, weren't you? Were you unseeded that year? I forget actually.
2004 it was, yeah, unseeded.
Came through the floor.
Came through the pack.
45.
With 1 or 2 people.
Dean, you require 60.
Just see Dean try and finish this. 20 for tops.
Double 10 though.
40. Ross, you require 130.
Looks familiar, this leg, doesn't it?
It's almost a touch of deja vu. The beautiful thing about a 130 checkout is you only need 1 treble. He's got 2, so now the target area is slightly bigger. Not bullseye, double 5.
125.
Oh, unlucky.
Dean, you require 20.
And he's going for double 5 now as well, Dean Winstanley. Afraid of it.
15 scored.
Both times.
Ross, you require 5.
Double 2 then.
Game
There she
on the
goes,
first
that's
set.
another
Ross
set
Montgomery.
for Ross Montgomery. Another leg handed to him on a
6
plate.
set, first leg, Dean to throw first. Ladies and gentlemen, the very best of order, please. Game on.
So yeah, 2004, unseeded, came through the pack. No one noticed you at all.
125.
And it works sometimes for you, doesn't it, Tony?
Of course it does. I was just about to say, a lot of people not too happy in the darts world with this 8 seeds automatically through. But obviously, yesterday, some of them guys, it was their first game. They came into the tournament cold. You can practice all you want in the back room. But them guys that come through have played 5-6 games the previous day. That if they're on form, obviously they're hot, they've qualified. They're in good form and they are hard to handle. As I proved that year, and once or twice since I've done something similar.
Robert Thornton came through in 2007.
Exactly.
To do just that. Yes, you have an advantage as a seed, but you're absolutely spot on.
60.
It can catch you out and has caught many a seed out.
I think we only lost 2 of the top seeds on the first day this year. I think it was last year, the year before, I think we lost 6 out of the 8, so prime example.
83.
It's a different tournament now to when it was first played in 1974. But it is certainly 60. What it is. At the moment, for Ross Montgomery, it is looking slightly better. Albeit he'll have played far
100.
better and lost far more heavily than he is today.
$95. Dean, you acquire 148.
$68 left.
140.
Okay, bought himself a lot of time.
Dean, you acquire 8. Game shot the first
as he
leg.
buys himself the time, so he relaxes into it.
To go first. Game on.
It's the sort of game, Tony, it could go all the way to the final leg. Not because both players are producing an absolute classic, but because no one
24.
seems to be able to handle the pressure of being in front.
No one's actually got that burst in them, have they, of 4 or 5 legs that would win the match and get it over with as soon as possible.
100.
I've seen a few breaks of throw. We're at the stage of the match where, had they held their throw every leg, this is exactly what the score would have been.
140.
So by a roundabout way, it's kind of going with throw, if that makes any sense.
A magic roundabout way, you mean?
100.
As we've said 100 times, it's not how, it's just getting that win. As long as you win, that's all that
100.
It's like following a similar pattern. Dean with the lead.
100. Dean, you acquire 161.
And Ross there, lurking in the background if Dean can't check out.
82.
And Dean not making it easy for himself.
Clumsy last dart. Big score from Ross could make things different here.
$60. Dean, you acquire 79.
And he's let Dean off a little bit. 79 wanted now for Winstanley. So to make it 3 sets all, I don't really think he knows which way to go.
39.
All around the houses to leave himself double top.
I expected 19s and then just a big fat 19, single 20 tops, that's what I expected.
Yeah.
140. Dean, you acquire
He's got
40.
his double top, but he's got the pressure. For the set, this. That's
Game
better.
from the 6th set. Dean Winstanley.
And we start again.
7-7. First leg, Ross to throw first. Bay, best of order, please. Game on.
It's as far removed from the first semi-final this match as the Hull Marina is to Monaco.
121.
But it's exactly the same situation. It's 3 apiece in this best of 9 set match.
Well, you're lucky enough to go to both of them every year. Which one do you prefer?
Chips are better in Hull.
60.
Only get French fries in Monaco.
$26.
But there's no good, Ross Montgomery, just shaking your head all the time. Find a way to improve your performance. Winstanley finding a way through. That's his 4th 180 of the match. Ross has only got one of them.
$100. $100. $95. Dean, you acquire 161.
95 leaves him on a bogey. Didn't think about that. Single 19 would have sufficed.
55.
Not really punished it though, Dean. There. Ross can set this up though. Nice couple of trebles and a 19. We'll switch down now, I think.
119. Dean, you acquire 106.
Went for the treble 13. Fabulous.
Same score, just not the way I said.
Absolutely.
56.
Left him
Ross, you acquire
double top.
40.
Two great markers.
No
Three
score.
great markers.
Dean, you acquire 50.
If he was a gentleman, he'd leave him there for Dean Winstanley. 10 for tops. To move back ahead once more. There
Game
you go.
shot in the first leg. Dean Winstanley. Second leg, Dean to throw first. Game on.
Such a simple game when you hit them doubles.
But there's absolutely nothing simple
45, thank
hitting
you.
that sort of target area. It appears so small sometimes when you haven't got your groove, when you've not got the rhythm and the
100.
flow. Right, trying to split the atom from 7'9 1/4. And neither of these two have come close to any nuclear explosion on that stage this afternoon.
100. $140. $140.
Last two legs I've noticed Dean has speeded up a little. Maybe that's got something to do with the two doubles he hit in virtually the first chuck he went. Could have something to do with it, just speeding up a touch, I think.
140.
Is that something maybe Ross Montgomery wants to try himself now? You often find you walk back a bit faster when you've hit a ton 40 or a double.
Look at that.
The whole rhythm of the game's changed.
Yeah, 4 140s all in a row. Single 20 leaves double top. The best sequence of darts I think we've had in the match so far, this, and Montgomery delaying his throw. But he got there in the end.
Did he need that?
I get the feeling that someone's calling out there in the audience and in the crowd, because Ross Montgomery had a glare and a word with our referee. Maybe he's not overly happy, as he was in the previous round, with some of the calling.
60. $81. 85.
Whoever wins this leg goes within one set of their first appearance in the Masters
85.
final.
$140.
Apology from Ross Montgomery there as he left one behind.
45.
And that's Dean Winstanley walking quite slowly to retrieve his darts. Touch of the gamesmanship there, I think.
All part of the game, mate.
60.
I'm sure just that leg before, the little burst of quicker play, I'm sure they both must have felt better at that speed. Why wouldn't they just want to carry it on?
58. Ross, you acquire 156.
It's almost like they're playing with a paranoia that everyone is criticising them behind their back.
100.
It's a great last dart.
It's one sport, isn't it, where those that are watching are all stood behind you.
26.
And you don't know what they're saying or doing.
56.
You might be cheering for Ross Montgomery here. Oh dear, single 16 would have given him 2 darts at the double. As it is, 1 dart on this visit.
36.
He needed another, albeit he is guaranteed a return back to this double 10 now.
95. Ross, you acquired 20.
For the set, 3 darts in his hand, double 10.
Game
Only
shot the
needed the
7
one,
sets. Ross
4
Montgomery.
clean sets now to the boss.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, we're in the middle of a fantastic dart match here. Do not ruin it by shouting out while the players are throwing on the hockey. Thank you. 8 set first leg, Dean to throw first.
Well, referee Hugh Ware just reminding the audience there what you were saying, Tony. One lone voice can be quite off-putting. As it is, they all might join in unison here to cheer a 180. There's definitely more Dean Winstanley fans out there.
140.
You are referee, keeping an eye on proceedings. Looks as nervous as Ross Montgomery up there.
It's a hard enough job as it is without trying to keep the crowd quiet as well.
100. $92.
You just feel Ross Montgomery could put together 2 big bursts of
45.
scores here. Try and nick this leg. That's it. Winstanley demoralised. Without the advantage of first throw, could quickly
64.
change his match around. Neither player can find in their memory bank a reserve of inspiration that they can use in this particular moment.
100. $85.
He's left Shanghai 120, but Ross needs a big in here.
100.
Even with that ton, still leaves him a big kill.
120.
Two great darts there, he was unlucky there.
100.
Absolutely.
Ross, you acquire 156.
Montgomery could steal it.
Always a big gas, 156.
100. Dean, you acquire 20.
Double 10, big ask for Winstanley. Turns away in disgust once more. Double 5.
Game
That's
from
better.
the first leg, Dean Winstanley. Second leg, Ross to throw first. Game on.
Well, I think Winstanley like to play his joker at this moment in time.
$100. $100. $100.
Ross Montgomery's 34th ton plus of this semi-final.
120.
That should have been Dean Winstanley's 5th 180.
$70.
That's more like it. This is a concerted effort now from Dean Winstanley, who for once has stopped shaking his head
100. Dean, you acquire
and
101.
started shaking the house.
That leaves him 62. He'll probably go treble 10.
49. Ross, you acquire 131.
Treble 20 leaves 71. Treble 13 will be a great dart. Double 16 for a fantastic finish.
115. Dean, you acquire 52.
Well, we all knew where that dart was going. Double tops. And that's another set.
Dean Winstanley
Puts us all straight. 4 sets each. It's now a 3-leg match.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Brilliantly done by Dean Winstanley.
First leg, Ross to throw first. Game on.
Let's go all the way then to the deciding set of the match.
60.
And why is it Ross Montgomery can stand there and smile as Dean Winstanley celebrates getting the double, but then can't seem to enjoy himself while he's throwing the 3 darts?
45.
As you get the feeling, Tony, if either of these two had a smile on their face while they're throwing, they'd have probably been sat in the practice area waiting to start the men's final.
Exactly. They'd have probably enjoyed the game. We'd have enjoyed the game more as well. As I said, I keep going back to them 2 legs where they speeded up.
100.
The whole game changed. Why didn't they just carry on? It was a nice rhythm. They both played really
60.
well. Again, it's that word again, pressure, in it.
It's just one of those unexplained questions.
60.
Whose idea was it to build the pyramids? Why can't Stockport County sign a decent centre-half? You know, those sort of questions we might never answer.
I can answer the second one. We haven't got any money, mate.
100. $83.
Anyway, it's a striker we need, not a centre-half.
$26.
Yeah, exactly, Dean. What happened?
$100.
Ross Montgomery shaking his head more than the professor of negativity at Oxford University, quite frankly.
140.
Dean
Ross, you acquire
Winstanley
98.
auditioning for RADA at the end of every throat. Come on, Ross, double 19. This will put a smile on your face. That won't.
82. Dean, you acquire 130.
Well, he's tidied it up. He's been finishing a little bit later, just later. Another 20. It's the bullseye now for a nice 130 finish.
89.
Pushed it wide.
Ross, you acquire 16.
Looks like he's got away with it, Ross. He wants double 8 to take a 1-leg lead in the last set. Double 4.
There goes that shake of the head again.
14. scored.
Carry it on.
And that was the quietest it's been the whole game. Them 3 darts.
The answer was no almost before he threw the dart. Yes, double top, Dean. As he looks at the scoreboard and then takes aim. Double 15 now. Big moment. Oh,
31.
That's unlucky.
Rossi required 2.
Well, they call this Madhouse for a reason.
No
Actually meant the
score.
double 1 segment, but
Well, that's why, though, isn't it? Because one
10.
little slip, chance has gone.
there's no second chance with it.
Now, does he go straight for double 15 or 10 double 10? Oh, it's double 5, I should say, he wants.
No score.
Oh dear, Dean.
Rossi required 2.
You have thrown away so many chances to wrap up legs here. Montgomery once more to steal one away. Double 1. It's waiting. It could
No
be
score.
waiting all night.
Dean, you required 10.
Double 2 then.
8 scored.
Right.
The third reserve
Rossi
at the Dog and Duck is
required 2.
pulling his hair out right now.
It's the moment the chalker at the Dog and Duck likes. He can sit down for half an hour. Double 1. Yes, he's got it.
Ross Montgomery.
And he is, believe it or not, now 1 leg
Second
away
leg, Dean
from the
to
Masters
go
final.
first. Game on.
Playing less like a master, more like his apprentice. Still shaking his head, as Dean Winstanley will be in stunned disbelief
100.
if he doesn't win this match. Tony, he's thrown away so many chances.
Unbelievable, to be honest. At the end of the day, though, if he'd have hit a 9 dart, he'd still just got 1 leg.
Yeah, no, exactly.
100.
See, there it is, the silverware at the side of the stage, menacingly, like a siren of the sea, taunting both players. I
140.
could be yours, I could be yours.
Well, to be honest, whoever wins this game's got some thinking to do, because Scotty Waits' fingerprints are all over that. They're looking at this game.
140.
But I bet you whoever wins will raise their game purely because Scott will lift the game, and they'll maybe thrive off that. Lovely second dart from Montgomery. That
100. Dean, you acquired
needed it as well.
161.
Winstanley to stay with us. Beautiful. Treble 17. Excellent. Bullseye. Oh,
136.
desperately unlucky.
Ross, you acquire 161.
But if Ross can pull off the same shot, he'll put him through.
He'd have had better luck pulling off his
Dean, you
jumper,
acquire
quite frankly.
25.
Didn't even scare it.
Double 8 for Winstanley.
Game shown the
it's all
second
the way
leg.
we
Dean
go then.
Winstanley.
Right
Ladies and
to
gentlemen,
the final leg.
I think it's too early predicted this game.
Another ball off to see who throws first in the deciding leg. It's going to be Ross to throw first for the ball.
And not for the first time this weekend. We throw for the
That's
ball
just outside the 25.
to see who throws first in the deciding leg. And you could have kind of seen this coming due to some of the mediocrity on show.
That's the 25. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Third and final leg.
Well, that
Dean
could be the best
to
dart he's thrown this
throw first.
afternoon so
Best
far,
of
to be
order.
honest.
Game on.
It's got him to throw. He needs to back it up now with a big score.
100.
Only 6 times has Dean Winstanley held his throw, though, in this match. Out of 10 opportunities. It might be the worst dart he's thrown.
140.
Because in goes Montgomery, thinking, right, now or never. I'll show him.
I'll tell you what, let's go and have a beer and leave him to it.
60.
I'll drink in the tension, if that's all right with you. It's a cracking second dart from Montgomery. You know, that was in the treble. That's what he needed. Is this a 180 coming in? It's what he needs.
140.
But a 140 from Ross here gives him first go at a checkout. 100 will give him a first go at a checkout.
140.
That's better though, isn't it?
He stood up to the mark in this leg.
Oh, if only he would have just started with this leg and forgotten everything that's gone before.
Could have been a totally different match, but it doesn't matter. Ross wants 1-2-1. He'll start with the 20s. Treble 17. Leaves him 84. He'll go treble 20 to leave 24.
97. Dean, you acquire 62.
He's put the pressure on. Winstanley, who has hit 11 doubles in 50 attempts, now needs double top for the match. He's got it in the first time of asking. Who'd have thought it? Dean Winstanley, where did that come from? It's an all-Yorkshire final coming our way as Winstanley takes home weights and Ross Montgomery takes the high road back to Scotland. Unbelievable game. We're down to the last two of the men's masters.
Well, the second semi-final didn't quite take off in terms of excitement. Dean Winstanley doesn't care. It's Dean who will throw for the Masters title in a final which will get underway in about 30 minutes' time. It's the final of the Women's Masters that's next here on ESPN.